Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of my friends, a lot of ladies and guys who watch the show, were on a text thread, and my wife, everybody keeps texting me and saying, honey, you're just despicable. And I'm like, thank you. Maybe I'm doing my job then. But no, the wedding scene, I mean, obviously he wanted to get married before she had the child. Um, and he yeah, and obviously, that wasn't going to happen. But but he obviously engineered the dates so the young Simon wouldn't be another bastard of mine, my second bastard, possibly. Maybe I've got more. But and obviously the poor reverend gets unceremoniously uh, taken out, whacked by my old friend Balak. But yeah, I think he'd always try to think two steps ahead. Lord love it, and he has got this uncompromising desire and drive to get back his lands and his title, and hopefully with Maisry, our seer, he could possibly have a son who's the future king of Scotland as well. So he's a lot of fun to play, although he is a dark individual. I guess people love to hate him in some ways. And what kind of father was he to Brian? Um, I think because of his the possibility of who Simon may become, I think he has to, you might see a different side to love it, in the sense that he has to protect him, he has to love him, he has to nourish him, and hopefully one day the so-called prophecy may come true. Um, but his compassion and his empathy, if he has any of those things, I'm sure he does somewhere. They don't seem to reach out to other people in his household, but because he's such a self-centered, um, driven, some might say a narcissistic individual, and I guess, but I guess there will be. I think he does love. I think he does, in his way. I think he cares for Brian. He wants Brian to do well, but in his eyes, Brian keeps disappointing, crossing the crossing the bridge to a rival gang, as it were, and also, um, yeah, just I think he does love his new child, but a lot of that love is based on his ego. He just wants to find dirt on everybody. But in this particular piece of scandalous information is joy to his ears, to his soul, and obviously is hugely detrimental to the joining of Malcolm and of Ellen. Um, he obviously writes the letter informing them of this. Um, but whether or not her virginity is in question, I think, oh, there's no doubt about it. There's no way that this family is going to get together. And I just think it was so, beautifully and darkly the way it was written. He comes in after, almost almost being arrested by the redcoats, and I'm just like, no, you've done well, son, because he's just so happy that he's got this information. And uh, he's very much, if people can serve him, love it, then he politically and socially, he if you can be of use to him, then he's your friend. But if not, that
Right.
then it may go down a darker path. I know, but how can she pass the virginity test? If it comes to pass that she's not, if she is a virgin, then it's like, what are you talking about, love it? Then I don't think I'm going to be very happy if that comes to pass. Oh my God. Yeah, it's a question of what won't he do? Um, I don't know. I haven't seen any. I know I lash my son in the show, but if I find out that what if they do if they've done that to me, um, I think the punishment could be very, very severe. Incarceration of sorts. Um, there's some I'm not saying medieval contraptions, but there are some there are some pieces of equipment that I'm not going to say it's torture, but I won't say too much. But there is things that Lubbock can do to Davina and Julia if he were to find out that he the lovely food that he was eating was actually compromised in some very, very dark way. It was actually a lot of fun because I think Hermione, me, Jeremy, Jamie, and uh, Harry, everybody in the show, we always have a bit of we take our job very seriously. If there's lovemaking scenes, there's sensuality, we obviously take it very seriously. And if it's a woman or a man or anybody, I'm been doing this job 40 years. The first thing I like is I'd like to happen is for anybody I'm with, if we're semi-clad, as it were, then I want people to feel comfortable. And only when you can feel comfortable with someone else, then you can express yourself in the scene and feel open to diving into the character and what the character might do in the scene. But no, I said to Matt, that was one of our Australian directors on that episode, I said, any time that we can have a moment, because he's such a dastardly swine, love it. I said, any time that we can undermine him, humiliate him, make a fool of him, lose his power, then Tony, as an actor, I want to do that, because you know, I'm uh, I'm a mommy's boy, at heart. So I love the ladies, but obviously Lord Lovett loves the ladies, but in a very different way to me. So when I saw that scene, I was kind of yeah, it did make me laugh. I think it is quite amusing, but also in a dark, a very dark way. But that he does sort of get humiliated and talking about the old fox coming out of its hole. Um, I guess you sign up for the gig, you read the scripts, and you talk to Matt and Meryl about certain things. If you have some, I'm not quite sure about this, or could we do this to make it better? Or, but yeah, I mean it's
Well,
all part of the story. So when you have scenes like that, you relish it. You have to go for it. I guess we were just sort of our intimacy coordinator Vanessa was there, and she's great. And I have to adorn um, certain garments downstairs. So
I think it's called a sock.
yeah, the sock, and there's also other things that you can use to tape. Um, but I think we just, me and Hermione got on very well. She's such a cool young person and a great actress, and we just laughed a lot. Actually, we laughed, and I joked in the first episode. I did an interview, and one of the directors said to me, "Tony, what are you reading?" And I said, "Oh, I'm reading the Karma Sutra because I'm just trying to, Lord Lovett likes to have options in the bedchamber." So I think me and Hermione are definitely, I think we have a good laugh, and we sort of, uh, she's a bit of a corpser. She's just a complete professional, but when she goes, she goes, and I can't, I'm very much in the same boat when that happens. But
So there's stuff for the blooper reel, it sounds
oh
like.
yeah, oh I'm sure there will be. I mean, yeah, I think when I'm shooting, if I forget a line or if I or if there's some sort of nudity going on. I don't deny it. There'll be some. I think the bed at one point was creaking and shaking, something awful. And I think the director was like, "Tony, mate, you gotta go easy on that bed, pal. Bloody thing's gonna collapse." So but I just thought physically and visually looking at it, having his hand on the bed, it kind of looked ridiculous and sort of uh, quite funny. He hasn't met him obviously yet, but and he obviously just thinks he's the Grant's Bladier. But if he showed up with intention, um, yeah, I mean, he'd be treated with the contempt and the disregard and the anybody who shows up at my casa. "Oh, why are you here? What do you want?" Especially if you want to take away what's mine, my bride. Um, so I think it's going to be quite interesting in future episodes where Henry and Lord Lovett actually have a moment together. If that comes to pass, I won't say too much, but if they do, then it's. I mean, you can only imagine what Henry's gone through with his, you know, with the First World War and his terrible post-traumatic stress disorder, as it were, and he sees this man who he knows what he's done to his wife, and his wife is a kept woman. Uh, Gosh only knows what Henry might do to him. So maybe it's best that he stays away. He stays away from Lord Lovett. um, but I guess that'll be that. We'll see how that pans out. Oh no, I don't think he does anything without my express order. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, Simon's a lovely actor, and he's been wanting to get on Outlander for quite some time. And then when we found out he was getting whacked, I was quite sad. I was like, oh no, because he's such a lovely person and a lovely actor. Um, but I think there can be no loose ends, if you will, when he leaves that book, the the church book down, and he rubs the blood off it, and it's got the date. It's got the dates backdated from the birth of Simon and our happy day, which is obviously before that. Obviously, there can't be anybody else around to say that that didn't happen. Although everybody knows that it did happen. But yeah, that's it's quite unfortunate that the Reverend gets taken out. I guess it just shows you Lord Lovett's his uncompromising approach to anything that steps in his way. Um, is on a shaky peg, if you will.